Not
All right, welcome everybody. Hey. Okay, let's get started. We could chat more after the meeting. Great of you all to come out here. What can you just to the beacon? You can't hear me?
I can, but I don't think they can.
All right, great. All right, welcome. So, great to be here again at our monthly meeting. We are now running this networking meeting. We're calling it Bay Networking. And we're running it on the second Tuesday of each month. 9 o'clock, we're gathering here at the Beacon Restaurant. We go live and with the official meeting from exactly 9:30 to 10:30. It'd be great if we could turn the music down a little bit, but if that's possible. We have an online contingent as well. Today, Matthew Laker is with us online. And awesome turnout here. So basically the format of the meeting is that we go around the table and on the Zoom to whoever is with us on the Zoom, everybody takes approximately a minute or so to introduce themselves, let us know what you do. I would ask that you try and project don't speak moistly, but try and project your voice a little bit. Because this here device, this owl, is the device that's capturing all the audio, so that because the meeting is being recorded as well, and so that people who are participating on Zoom will be able to hear us. And that's it. So we go around, and then there's two presentations typically. So today we have Ron Skelly. He's going to be talking about HVAC. Down at the end of the table, and we also have Mark McFarlane, who's a paralegal, and he's going to be doing a presentation as well. So the presentations are approximately 5 minutes in length, and that is typically the format. If there's anything else that people want to contribute, offer, say, if there's time, we can discussion topics, expression of gratitude. If somebody has referred business to you or helped you solve a problem and you want to mention it, you can. That's always good. And that's it. So I'll start to my left with Gail, and then we'll just keep moving around the table. So Gail, please introduce yourself to us, if you will.
Good morning. My name is Gail Alexis, and I've been living here almost a year in Ravenna, about 15 minutes just away from Collingwood, halfway between Collingwood and Thornbury. And I worked in the retirement community. I worked as a professional singer for many moons, special events, and that segued into marketing events in the retirement communities. So as a continuation of that, I've started the Sorting Sisters. I have the postcards here, and that is compassionate downsizing. So helping seniors transition, but also so not just the toss, keep, pack, sell, and sort through, but just spending that time with them as a companion. And so with my experience and my age, I can lend more than just packing up, but I would orchestrate their move. I just did that full-on A to Z, soup to nuts, with my mother-in-law last September, and I had a lot of experience with similar downsizing companies in Toronto, as they were community influencers and we scratched each other's back. I would give them business, they would send people to the Millwood where I worked for 7 years. So that's my story. I'm getting the lay of the land. Sounds perfect.
Okay, great. Welcome. Thanks for that. Bacon Gail. Well, that's I'm back bacon. Okay, so Cindy.
Okay,
Cindy Jameson.
My name is Cindy Jameson, and we've been in Wasaga Beach now for a little over 2 years.
Sure.
My husband and I do finished carpentry work as well as small renos, and I also work for a trim company. So I come indoors. My prices are usually better than the competition in the area. What can I say? And we do the measure ups and all that kind of stuff as well. So that's more or less what it is in a nutshell. More time than that.
Okay, great. And Cindy has been coming since very early on. She was introduced to us by Jerry, and she also is a regular at our Friday night open mics over at Studs Lonigan's, and become good friends with her and her husband Don.
That's one last thing I wanted to add was anybody who hasn't been to open mic on Friday night, David hosts it. It's phenomenal. It's a lot of fun. It runs from 6 till 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
And it's well worth your time. And it's been great that he's managed to bring people together like that.
thank you very much,
Oh, you're
Cindy. And my next is my neighbor, Jude St. Clair, 2 doors over. Go ahead, Jude, please.
All right, so I'm Jude St. Clair. I'm an insurance specialist or insurance broker, whatever the name is. So basically my specialty is I specialize in small business owners and their family, protect what's most important to them. So in terms of life insurance, critical illness, estate planning and all that, nuts and bolts that help protect your assets and your financial future, right? Because let's face it, small business owners, usually they work at their shop or their business, working hard, but then if something were to happen, how long will their, their funds will last? So typically I joke that I'm in risk management, but obviously it is because you want to make sure that all your assets are protected. And if there's something were to happen, that you have funds available so you could keep recovering and go back to what you love to do. So that way your family is not left behind stranded. And also in terms of on the corporate side, I specialize also in what we call the permanent life corporate policies. Oh, thank you. All right, now. So yeah, corporate life policies that are really tax advantages for corporate. So if you were to have any question, any concern or whatnot, my door is always open and you could always reach out to me. So I'm your friendly neighborhood financial specialist, insurance. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I want to
Thank
hear you
you.
a few more minutes, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Jude will do a presentation for us again at a future thing, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, we encourage people to exchange business cards and keep in touch. That's what it's all about. So thanks for that, Jude.
Yes.
Jackie Manicapelli, welcome. Tell us about yourself.
Good going. Okay, so,
Does anyone have?
my name is Jackie and I'm here on behalf of myself
you.
and my partner, Sasha Rose DeLeo. We have just, actually, we will be launching in about another month, our company, which is called Nutritional Healing and Wellness. And, we are hoping to get into different, organizations to kind of spread the word and, we are offering programs and different packages. And the hopes is to educate, and spread wellness in the workplace. Thank you so much. And also we're incorporating retreats with that so that hopefully we can either build retreats alongside the company or build brand new ones for them. And like I said, it's just to kind of get everybody back in from COVID, feeling healthy and energetic and, going to work and having the most productive and great days, right? So, and that's it. So hopefully next time we'll have my business cards and our website will be open to view, but this is kind of like a little precursor. Just wanted to meet everybody and get you ready.
Jackie, thank you. Thanks very much for that. Next, we have Rob Hutchison.
Yeah, but I don't see it.
Rob's been with us from the beginning here when we started back in around November.
I was sitting next to you on that break.
You're sitting
I
next
think
to me.
we built one table at that.
That's right. And consistently grown. I'll just mention that after Rob introduces himself, we're gonna swing over to Matthew Laker, who's on the online, and then we'll continue around in the circle. So go ahead, Rob.
Thanks, David. Good morning, everybody. My name is Rob Hutchison. I'm a local realtor. I single-handedly didn't cause this whole real estate. Whoever maybe taking credit for it. I'm with Century 21, a resident of Wasaga Beach, and we have a little bit different approach to real estate in that we have a team of professionals that will bring in, help people get their house ready for sales, whether it's doing painting or repair work or stuff like that. And we, depending on the job and stuff like that, we try to incorporate it into our costs. So it's not an added cost to people. Everyone looks at their house and they notice all the little things that may need work, but know, a lot of people coming into the house don't notice it or don't realize how easy it is to there. So that's my story.
Okay, very good, Rob. Thanks very, very much for that.
Thank you.
And Matthew, welcome. Matthew Laker was introduced to me by Ron Skelly. And Matthew does insurance, so hopefully not everyone can.
Hi,
see here,
Matthew.
But
Hello.
or have the back of the computer screen to you.
Yep.
Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Matthew Laker. I'm with Experior Financial Group and helping families and businesses establish financial foundations today and for tomorrow. And I'm doing life insurance and critical illness, group benefits, and all of those types of things. I was a pastor for 20 years before stepping into this full time recently, and so for me, it's there's lots of crossover skills there about helping people get from A to B, and for me, it's the coaching and walking alongside is kind of what gets me going, and help them succeed in life. So, and sorry, I can't. Family is battling some COVID, so we are staying away from a few events. So, thank you.
It's like you have a pretty nice home office there.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Matthew Laker is on the lake.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, very good. Thanks for that, Matthew. Welcome. So we'll skip over Ron because Ron's going to be doing a presentation today, and we'll come back to Ron in a bit. And then next we have Raphael. We'll call him Raphael M. But you can tell us your proper name if you want. And Raphael, this is his first time out. I'd say a couple things about him. He moved here to Wasaga Beach around the same time as me, just over a year ago. And he's in digital marketing. So tell us about yourself.
Sure. Yeah, so my name is Raphael Matushevich. Just be easier if you just keep it at Raphael. It's a long Polish last name. Yeah, so I moved here in October of last year with the goal of launching my own business, and my passion is in digital marketing. And it really comes down to professional services are really the backbone of our communities. Without our accountants, without our real estate agents, financial advisors, the communities we live in would not thrive the same way they do. So the focus of the umbrella effect is to really help the professional service and services businesses move forward, help those clients and potential clients and current even customers find them when they need to find them, how they need to find them. And in the last 2 years, as we all know, digital has really shown a lot of businesses out there that if you're not online, you're not found, and it's hurt a lot of people. So working with professional services within this community, it's really just my goal to keep partnering with more professional service companies to maintain these communities and make them grow even more. That's it.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Raphael, and welcome.
Thank you.
Next up, my good friend Jerry Hogenhout, accountant and Canadian Investment Services. Welcome, Jerry. Tell us about yourself.
You just did.
Nothing left to tell? I got about a half an hour. Get Jerry going.
Yeah. As David said, I'm a chartered professional accountant. Right now. I also wear a second hat as investments. Canadian Investment Services is my company. We focus a lot on real estate investments, either through third parties, a real estate income trust, where we sort through third party, or we do our own real estate ventures. We've done a number of fix and flips in Etobicoke. And ventures, we've just bought a third apartment building in about 6 months. We're focusing on Alberta. Put our clients' money together and make those purchases. So that's the type of investing that we do.
Thank you.
I live in Toronto, but I've had a cottage 2 streets over for about 25 years now. And I'll give David credit. He's inspired me to become much more involved in the community. Certainly, I'd like to spend way more time up here. I'd like to move up here eventually if I can ever talk my wife into it. That's a challenge.
But anyway, just loving the beach, loving to get more involved, loving to meet more people. So, David, thank you for all the stuff that you do. So just look forward to getting more involved up here, meeting more people and doing business up here and trying to help people save taxes and make money. That's right.
All right, awesome. Thanks a lot, Jerry. Yeah, well, if it wasn't for you, I don't think I would be here in Mississauga. We were looking to get out of town, out of Toronto. And we spent a week up here at Jerry's cottage 2 summers ago and found our house while we were during that week, and the rest is history. So thank you, Jerry. Okay, so next up is Mark, but Mark's going to skip over you because Mark McFarland is going to be doing a presentation. He's a paralegal. And let's go over to Suzanne Lyon, holistic nutritionist. Welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you. Good morning. So like you said, my name is Suzanne Lyon. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist here in the beach. As well as I do a lot of virtual in many different provinces and a few states as well. So virtual wasn't a big thing for me to switch over to. Although I missed my clients that came into the office. I'm looking to help support you through your health and wellness journey, whether it's things like allergies, that seems to be big right now. Mind, mood management, that has, well, you can tell in the last 2 years has definitely grown. And I'm actually currently working on women's health presentation from teens to menopausal and all the things. So that is up and coming. It's almost there. It's almost ready to launch. So that'll be a big venture that's coming up. So thank you very much.
Great, excellent. Thanks very much for that, Suzanne. Next up, we have Giorgio Mammolito. You may have heard his name before. Welcome, Giorgio. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you, David. Let me just say that I really appreciate what you're doing in Wasaga Beach. The networking, I think, is going to be completely positive, and I'm going to predict that this kind of event that you're putting on is probably going to fill this room within a year. That's just my guess.
I think you're right.
I thank everybody for coming. It's a pleasure meeting everybody. I own a company called a Business in the Clouds. It's a consultant company, international and municipal. Internationally, we help people with different questions they might have about setting up shops, setting up businesses in Canada if they're interested in doing that. And municipally, I help people with things like applications to their homes if they have to go in front of a committee of adjustment, or they need a variance application or something like that. I also call myself the Wasaga Beach advocate. I'm taking on a lot of issues now that I think people need to know about. Changing Wasaga Beach for the better in a business sense, I think, is important. I think we've taken a few steps back in Wasaga Beach over the last few years, and things like selling off the beach to condos, that sort of thing. I'm trying to make people aware through the advocacy position that these things are wrong for a community, and you can't really build a community if you give it away. Give away our identity, really. I am a former member of provincial parliament at Queen's Park, which I was appointed parliamentary assistants to the Minister of Health, Minister of Corrections, and the minister responsible for the anti-drug strategy. And I was a Toronto councillor for about 26 years, 5 years at Queen's Park and 26 years as a councillor with the City of Toronto. I live up here now, and it was a great 30-year career, trying to slow my life down a little bit, and I've chosen Wasaga Beach to do that, and it has done that. It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me in a health-related way. And again, thank you, David, for having me.
Thank you, Giorgio. Thanks for your kind words. So I also want to mention before we get to Marlene, and we have a few more people who will introduce themselves. So we have Dawn Claire, has joined us online. Welcome, Dawn. Dawn, your face is a little bit in the dark now. We could see you a little better originally when you came in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, because the light's behind your back now, so we can't see your face as well. But anyhow, so Dawn, I'll just mention, she's been with us also from the beginning, with the exception of a recent holiday. Her and her husband Norm DiPietro, who were introduced to me by, well, they knew Jerry, and I was actually introduced to Dawn and her husband Norm through Rob Hutchison. And so welcome. Dawn will introduce herself shortly. We'll just continue along the table. Marlene Perkins, welcome, Marlene. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name's Marlene and I don't have a business here. I'm one of the organizers for the Wasaga Beach Farmers Market. And I help other events throughout town and different issues. I'm just here to meet people. That's all.
Okay, so, and I also want to mention that Marlene recently won the Spirit Award for the through the Chamber of Commerce, one of the women's awards, correct description?
Community builder.
Community builder.
Thank you.
So definitely out there in a big way, supportive of and organizing a number of projects. We'll appreciate you coming out today,
Thank you.
Marlene. That's better, by the way, Dawn. We can see you much better now. There you are. Look at that. Okay, wonderful. Eliza Blair, welcome.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself, Eliza.
Thank you. So my name's Eliza, like pizza. Blair, I know I get everything, so don't worry. I too am a local realtor. I'm with Keller Williams Real Estate. Moved up to Wasaga Beach about a year or so ago, around the same time as Dave. And my reason for being up here was to be able to raise my two kids. I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. Wasaga Beach reminds me a lot of Winnipeg, where I grew up, which is, you know, a city, but still with a small town feel, which is why I love being up here. And my goal really is to be connected to my community. I have a website that I sponsor called Park Bench Wasaga Beach, which allows me to talk to local business owners like yourself and feature your businesses for free. That's one of the things that I absolutely love to do.
Okay.
And in addition to that, with my real estate business, I love helping busy professionals, retirees, military, and move into our community or move out of our community. So I see a lot of connections here with the people that are here today, and I look forward to learning more about your businesses and how we can help each other.
All right, that's great. Eliza, now, can I also mention that Eliza, I mentioned that you're a singer?
Sure.
And she came out with her friend, pardon me, Walter, and they played at a musical fundraiser that we had on Boxing Day. We raised some money for the local food bank. We had a number of musicians come out, including Eliza and Walter, and great singer. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
anyhow, okay, and Ellen Timms, welcome, Ellen,
Thank
from the
you.
Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, my background is basically economic development and community building. That's why we like each other so much. So well. I'm currently working part-time for the Chamber of Commerce in member advocacy and just trying to help add a little vibrancy back to the local business, and not just local, because chambers, you know, you're not geographically confined to one particular area, but coming out of the pandemic, as you all know, it's time for everybody to get a little shot in the arm. So that's what I'm doing, and
Good job at that.
and enjoying it very much, because I love the opportunity to connect with people. And before I took the job, David, I was like looking at your networking group going, oh, I used to love networking.
You still can.
We still can. And we have wanted to say to Jerry that we can strategize on how to get your wife up here, because there is a strong social network of women in this community that are loving life, and we would love to welcome her into that.
I'm gonna take you up on that, and I want to
Okay.
be clear, it's not that she doesn't want to come to
I
Wasaga
know.
Beach, she
Yeah.
loves Toronto, she's a.
I
city
know.
girl.
And
And I'll
that,
be honest, it's a good point you bring up, because she's Japanese. And there's, you know, there's a very strong Japanese community in Toronto.
Yeah.
And that's the connection that she feels she would use. if she
Right.
came up.
yes.
That's,
And I actually really get that because in my old life, I had a very strong connection to community and a very, I kind of realized it was workaholism, but I used to tell everybody my life and my job was integrated. And then I kind of was reading a book and went, oh, maybe I'm not a workaholic, but I didn't think I could adjust here. And I'll tell you what, 3 weeks, I'm like, oh, do I really have to drive back for that meeting? Right. So, it is a wonderful place to live and we're all very blessed. It's also a wonderful place to do business. And I think we're at a really good jumping off point as we come out of the pandemic and there's this pent up enthusiasm. So I could go on, but I'm just grateful to be here and
Thank you, Ellen.
making new connections.
David, if I may, I don't mean to be rude to the two presenters today. I do have a meeting in Toronto that I have to get to, so if I walk out, while you're presenting, I apologize. And that's the reason why, not,
No problem.
I'll be watching online because David posts it, so I'll be watching it on.
And can I just do one more plug?
Sure.
That I am the volunteer vendor
I was just
coordinator
going to say that.
for the farmers market. So if anybody has connections in the food industry, agro, anything like that, we're really trying as well to
Increase.
rebuild and pump up our market, which is starting June 21st. So I'm happily working with Marlene and we're
And
trying
we've
to
got lots of,
encourage,
yeah.
we're trying to hook the sky.
We
into
did.
being the entertainment.
Oh, I think he's already agreed. Then he accepted. And it-
They made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Scott, but further to
Zero
that,
monthly.
we've also, Ellen has the Chamber of Commerce taking a space at the market, so they'll be promoting a business of the week.
Yeah,
We have someone booking our community space, so there will be
lots of
a
opportunity.
lot of opportunity for free community space, like depending on what it is. But we just want to have a place where the community comes together and you have food, you have music, we've got approval, we're working on a beer garden, possibly for some of it with the music. That's more that we talked about again with David. And just a weekly spot where people can come and just meet up, have quick bite off of a local whoever's at the market that week, buy their farm goods. We have lots of free farmers, maybe confirmed already.
Yeah.
Which is already an increase from last year. Last year, there was an issue with crops and a lot of them couldn't start till later. So yeah, things are off to a good start.
We want it to be town square where you can
Yes.
connect, buy some fresh goodies.
And then Jazz in the Park runs there also July and August through the town. So it's a great community.
So Marlene, I think we hijacked a presentation.
That's okay. There's time. That's we'll put that under special announcement. All right, okay, and on that note, Dawn gave a chuckle. That's a good time to let's have Dawn introduce herself. As I said before, Dawn has been with us from the beginning. How's Norm? Is he out on appointments this morning?
Yes, he is. Sorry he couldn't make it. And sorry I'm late.
Yeah, true. Window furnishings, correct?
He does, yeah, blinds and shutters, window coverings, yes.
Okay, excellent. So go ahead, Dawn, please introduce yourself.
So my name is Dawn Claire. I live in Wasaga Beach for about, I believe it's about 12 years. I work for Star Metroland Media, the local newspaper, which is the Collingwood Connection and the Wasaga Stainer Sun. We own about 85 newspapers across the board, so I can put ads into any one of those papers or flyers. We also have magazines, digital advertising, things like that. Because of COVID, we've revamped our rates. So they're much lower than they've ever been. For example, I can put an ad in the paper for you, just like a small ad, a little smaller than a business card for $79 in one of the papers. So yeah, our rates are a lot lower now. And yeah, so I'm around. We've closed a few of our offices, so I work from home basically 24/7 now. But yeah, I love my job. I love my life. I love Wasaga and Collingwood. Lots of live entertainment in Collingwood as well. So yeah.
All right, great. And Dawn put together a special package for us, which may have like probably has expired by now. But I'm going to speak with her about it because I really do want to do something. And the idea was that if anybody wants to contribute, they'll, relative to the amount of their contribution, they'll get space, and then it'll be part of our networking group and the individual businesses, whoever wants to contribute, will get, larger mentions. So she had put together a really special offer. And Dawn, I'm committed to doing something with you, so don't let me off the hook. Going away for 2 weeks, but later this month, let's connect and we'll get something going for sure. And I'll send an email out to the group to let you know what's happening, and you can let me know if you want to participate. If you're not getting my emails and you would like to get my emails, please make sure that I either have your business card or send me a text or a Facebook Messenger, whatever, with your email address. If you're not getting my emails and you would like to receive them, that way you won't miss notice. You could also fill out this, put your contact information on here if you wish. Okay, so let's go. Well, you know what? I never introduced myself to talk about my own business, so I'm just gonna. We're moving along at a pretty good clip so far. It's only 10 o'clock, so I'll just take a few seconds to let you know about what I do. So I'm a mortgage broker. I've been a mortgage broker and agent for about 18 years. And I do a lot of alternative lending for people who are not getting what they want at the bank for any reason. They might be self-employed. They could have a credit issue. It could be a more complicated loan, maybe on land, construction, farm, whatever it is. We have private money. I work with private lenders, and I work with many different institutional lenders. I do also work with first-time buyers and move-up buyers. No problem, whether they're, bank material or not. I can put it together: residential, commercial, industrial, first mortgages, second mortgages. Okay, so that's what I do. Please keep me in mind for that. So along now, let's go over to Ron Skelly in HVAC. And Ron, please, the floor is yours. You got about 5 minutes or so.
All right.
Thank you.
First, I got some new business cards made, so I want to share this. This time on the back of the card, I put what we do. People were always asking what you do, and I forgot half the script.
Oh,
So on the back, check it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
So basically, we do heating and air conditioning, fireplaces, tankless hot water.
Thank you.
And I was just going to talk briefly today about a product that we have called heat pumps. I don't know if any of you are familiar with heat pumps. They've been in Ontario probably for about 25 years. And usually they were used in the country where people used to have propane or oil. If you use a heat pump, you could use some electricity for heat. It wouldn't cost as much as the oil or propane. The problem was when it got below zero, the heat pump kind of crapped out. And what's happened in the last few years, they now have heat pumps that work down to minus 30 Celsius. So almost equivalent to a gas furnace. Right now, there's a $5,000 grant for people that purchase heat pumps. Again, it's mainly on the outside of town where it seems to be happening. But we have a product, you might have seen them. I'm just putting a little sketch here. These are the ductless heat pumps. Where if you go to the Caribbean or Europe, you'll see them everywhere in the Orient. Normally, they were for people that didn't have ductwork. Splits, yeah, ductless splits.
So how do they work?
So what happens is what a heat pump does, it can extract heat. So in the summer, a heat pump will extract heat from the house, send it outside through the refrigerant. And in the winter, it does the opposite. even at minus 25 Celsius, there still is heat in the air outside. The heat pump extracts that from the air and brings it into the house. So with the grant, and so right now we're doing a job in Wasaga Beach, Cottage Court, 10 units. Before, the problem with the Cottage Court was that they were all heated by baseboard heating, and which costs a fortune.
Right.
Now you can put one of these in each cottage, and now you have heating and cooling, it's super efficient, and they can open all year. And it turns the Cottage Court into something really classy. So I'm starting to see that now, where they're going from, they had kind of some of the dumpy cottage courts and they're turning it around and going first class installing these. They'll be open 12 months a year. So when you buy two of these, then you can get the grant. And there are a lot of cottages houses that, need a couple of install the back, they get the grant as well. So I think you're gonna be seeing a lot more heat pumps, both this type, which is ductless, and the type, which looks like your air conditioner, but it's actually a heat pump. That's connected to your furnace. Alright. Yeah, so we've been putting them in stores, lofts, so people have in-floor heating. They don't have ductwork. So there's a lot of applications for it. And now with the heating side, it really just opened up everything. Any questions or anything about them, or?
I got a question. So Ron, is this like a replacement for baseboard? And the reason where I'm going is, as I mentioned in my introduction, we invest in a lot of apartment buildings. And some of them, have baseboards.
Yes.
Some we pay for, some the tenant pays for. Is this a way of reducing my costs?
For sure. Do they have any kind of air conditioning in the
Yep.
window units, I guess?
Window units and most of it, yeah.
So this would give them both. So it would give them super inexpensive cooling, heating as well. So the only problem with the ductless is the room that it's in becomes your ductwork. So if it's wide open, it's easy to air.
But I guess it's still plugged in and somebody's paying hybrid going.
Right. Really efficient. These things are compared to baseboard, 7 or 8 times cheaper.
Okay, so always cost savings.
That's
Once you get the capital cost out of it.
It's almost the same as the gas for. You'll be seeing them a lot more. People will start to decide to put in a heat pump instead of an air conditioner when they replace their air conditioner because it does both. So now you can go electric or you can go gas. You can go back and forth. Less carbon footprint with the heat pump.
Just a question, just in terms of cost. So I'm assuming based on what you're talking about, it's for 2 of the units, it'd be about $12,000-13,000 or?
No, 2 units, depending on the size, 7,000, that range, 65, 75.
For 2, and you'll get a rebate
Yes,
of 5,000?
yes.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, is that a federal or for the insurance?
I believe it's federal.
And they're great for garages, I guess. If somebody wants to put it in their garage, to heat a garage.
Done a garage. Usually, yeah, you go for, I haven't done it.
I'm looking for that, so
Okay.
it's personal.
He's making a man cave.
Idea.
Well, it's not insulated.
You'd want to insulate it.
Yeah. Well, there's one wall that's insulated. The one by the house, on the wall, by the house. But
Or just have to stick with gas. You don't want plastic
yeah,
because it's not well insulated. It's not difficult.
I know they're huge in the East Coast. A lot of people are retrofitting older properties and they're using heat pumps and heat exchangers there. And again, they've had the grants for quite a while, so a lot of people did it. We saw it.
Yeah.
Politically, a lot of them with that.
It's a lot more
efficient. Yeah.
A lot of propane.
Yeah, my son's doing that out
Yeah.
there.
So if you have a propane furnace or oil, you have heat pumps, it's terrific.
Oh, okay, that was my question, propane.
Tiny homes.
Ron, when you said 7 or 8,000, was that per unit or for two?
No, for 2.
For 2, really? Wow.
You
We
can
will
actually
connect.
buy them where one of these will do 4 indoor heads. So if you have 4
Bye-bye.
rooms where you
Safe
can
travels.
connect 4 to one unit outside.
So approximately how many square footage would one of those cover?
These will do anywhere from 500 square feet to 2,000 square feet.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
There's different models, so different
Yeah.
sizes, different features. Again, if you're
Yeah.
2,000 square feet, you want it to be wide open.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Geez, I want to get rid of energy.
For my experience, rather than getting one that does four,
Wasn't
it's
by
still
choice.
it's expensive and better technically, just about individual units.
So now your unit that runs the bottom unit, which looks like an air conditioner, I mean, we had one of those units in the eighties, which was obviously an older, much more inefficient unit. When we lived in Port Perry, but that bottom unit, does that run on ductwork?
No,
It doesn't. Okay,
and it's exactly the same as the one you have at home.
Yeah.
It's a condenser,
okay,
it's just a different style.
okay.
It shoots the air sideways instead of up.
Now, will that do one whole house too, like about a 2,000 square foot house?
Again, it's gonna be hard to do different floors unless you have different.
Yeah, true.
Right. But
Sure.
if you can do 2 or 3 in the
Yeah.
house, yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. So these two are connected with refrigerant lines. Then we just run a high voltage wire from the outdoor unit to the panel. That's it. It's all done with a remote control.
Do you have to impede anything in terms of getting it through, like the studs in the drywall or anything like that?
No, usually you'll have the indoor unit on an outside wall.
Yeah.
And then the outdoor unit is on the other side of that wall on the ground or stand.
Okay, good, thank you.
So the install is pretty easy, 4 or 5 hours. We put it on.
You get 30 amp or?
It's 20 amp, 15 to 20. 2 poles or two breakers. Unless you have 2 breakers on the panel. And they're super efficient. You hardly notice them.
Does it run in about the same cost or less than what gas furnace would run?
I'd say the heat pump, depending on the outfit, probably maybe 10% more,
Okay,
but it's coming down.
right,
And who knows, gas is maybe go up, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nothing like heat pump you can do.
Yeah, 25% April 1st.
And Ron, isn't the climate action group promoting heat pumps and supporting people moving because of the less carbon footprint and
That's correct. You said?
no carbon footprint
Yeah,
and
so let's start.
it's certainly a green option, is it not?
It is.
Yeah.
And I'll just finish, and the last thing was that all these new heat pumps, all the condensers work on something called inverter technology. So everyone here probably has an air conditioner at home. And let's say it's a 2-ton, which is 24,000 BTUs. Every time that air conditioner comes on at 24,000 BTUs. Doesn't matter if it's 2 degrees or 10 degrees difference, always 24,000 BTUs. These new ones are inverters, so they can go 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So they modulate back and forth. They don't have to go to the maximum. In fact, they hardly ever do. So they're always cruising, finding the right BTU level, that matches the outdoor temperature and the thermostat. So, and that saves you a lot of money in energy, just that feature. And it also lasts a lot longer, the compressor, and it doesn't have hard starts and stuff. So,
And Ron, does it cool enough like an air conditioner? Like it's
Yeah.
cool in the place, right?
the nice thing is they're up high in the wall. And that's where air conditioning should be, because
Yes.
most of it's on the floor in your house, so it comes up a bit.
Okay, good to know.
That was my question, is it has to be high because cosmetically, is there a way to sort of make that a little less, obvious? Okay, yeah, the ceiling, because in the middle of the wall on that picture was sort of,
That's the
mean,
only.
yeah.
Some people don't like the way they look.
Mhm.
You know, if
Yeah.
the place is too hot.
No, I
once you get it
understand.
there, it's like, oh, wow, it's great. You know what you're saying?
There was an option, but it's sort of got to be in the center of the room or,
No, it doesn't have to be, it could be at one end of the room.
okay, good.
Could be right there and
Right,
this
right.
way. It has a fan that
Yeah,
stretches out for.
okay, good, because in that photo it was sort of just in the middle.
There's decorative ways to
Yeah, yeah.
make it less obvious. I have a ductless air conditioner on my upper floor and I have a desk and a shelf above the desk
Right.
and then it's above that. So I don't think it's as noticeable.
Right.
Because
The other stuff.
yeah.
Right.
yeah. You can always put your dartboards.
Are these units made by Napoleon? I see Napoleon.
We
It's on
bring
your-
them in, they're not made by the.
Okay,
We make the furnaces and
Yep.
air conditioners, but
Okay.
not the ductless. All the ductless are made offshore.
oh, fair enough.
Every ductless are.
And what's the warranty on them?
10 years on most on the parts, years, the exchanger.
Okay.
I think it's 15 on the heat exchanger, 10 on the 1 year later.
Yeah, thank you.
It's very, Napoleon's great with parts, so.
Right.
it's always good.
Sure.
So that's sort of what we're working on now. It's air conditioning season, so that's what we're busiest, right?
Yeah.
From now until August. The heat pump, especially in Wasaga Beach, I really enjoy promoting them. Cottage courts and that, because it's nice to pick them up as well and give them this opportunity, so enjoy that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, good presentation. Okay, great. So next up, we have Mark McFarland, paralegal. Welcome, Mark. And
Paralegal extraordinaire. I like it.
all right, good. So floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yeah, so, Mark McFarlane, paralegal extraordinaire. It doesn't stop here, but our company is actually McFarlane and McFarlane. It's actually my wife and I. So for the last 3 years.
That's where the extraordinaire comes from.
Calling yourself Eminem.
Good one.
Go into it. So yeah,
Handy.
so for the last 3 years, we've been studying together, we've been living together, we've been working together. So even as paralegals, does anyone know a good divorce lawyer? We're not quite at that point yet. So we opened our office in the midst of a pandemic. Seemed like a good idea at the time. It's a small office at the other end of town, just 72 Main Street, just to the other side of the bridge. Really just to get things off the ground. We are one of the biggest challenges we have as paralegals is so many misconceptions about what it is we actually do. A lot of people think paralegals are there to aid lawyers in what they do. We're really not. Although those are more law clerks. And as it happens, my wife and I are actually certified law clerks as well. But paralegals is a standalone role. We have to go be educated. We have to be licensed. We have to do license exams. We have to hold insurance in the same way as a lawyer. And we're held to a very similar code of ethics as lawyers are as well. But we're a standalone profession. The main difference is we don't do as much schooling. And we don't get involved in life-changing areas, of the law. So we don't do real estate. We don't do family law. It's more your highway traffic act, your provincial offences, landlord and tenant board.
Yeah.
At the moment.
I'll be
it's
huge here.
But all the tribunals. So all of the licensing things, any license you get, you can actually, if you have an issue, it's actually a paralegal that can assist you with that. We take it a stage further because we got into this because we faced a lot of adversity in our lives and felt that we kept getting beaten down and no one would actually listen to us. We're both, my wife and I both come from different backgrounds. She's in finance for a number of years. I was in IT and project management for a number of years. And even at that, people didn't listen to us. So this is why we got into this. So we're very driven by social justice as well. So a lot of paralegal firms, you'll find they do the highway traffic, they do traffic tickets, that's their main thrust. Or they represent landlords only at the landlord and tenant board. We don't. We do a lot of tenants. We're also members of Justice Net, which is it's a network to provide accessible services to people of a lower income. So we do that. Tomorrow, I've got a meeting with the Simcoe County Alliance to End Homelessness. We're really pushing to try and make these services more available to everyone. But also our business is professional and paralegal services. We draw on that experience that we have to provide all kinds of services. And I wish I hadn't actually said that in the brochure, because we've been approached to do all kinds of services. Honest. But we like a challenge. We take that on. So we're now working with a number of resorts in very different areas, a number of small businesses, reviewing what their paperwork, for instance, even doing some of the promotional work, making sure that the legality is all there. And yeah, copyright it has actually come up. Some people, they see something as a really good idea to market something without taking into account it's very similar to something else. You're not the first one to do that. And then they get a challenge. they get an email saying, please stop doing that, cease and desist. So yeah, we are really, our doors are open and we're open to basically anything that you have. We were just discussing earlier, business center in the town. Yeah, we're working on something with someone just now as well. I think that there is a lot of need for it, and so our drive is really, again, to promote the community, to do it in the right way. We don't just want to be this paralegal office where, you know, you have a problem and you come to us. If you have an idea, come to us. And we will take it to, we'll look at all the legality of it as well. And if you need representation, obviously, we do that. So, I do have some shameless propaganda that we just ran off ourselves. That's the Scottish part. I'm not going to pay anyone else to do it. Save it, but
We have.
you know,
Louis and Ally would do the same
Yeah.
thing.
my wife, yeah, she struggles with that sometimes. She's, yes, we are a professional service, but no, I can do it myself. So, and one of the things is our name is actually McFarlane, and the clan motto as it stands is actually "This I'll Defend." And we didn't even realize that until we get into this, and we thought, well, let's look at what do we use for marketing. Let's look at the motto, "This I'll Defend," and then we sort of realized, well, how could we actually ever do anything else?
Right, there you go.
So that is basically us. It's just an introduction. Now, I did say our office is on the other side of the bridge, 72 Main Street, but we're only there until the end of the month. So if anyone has any office space, affordable and turnkey, please let me know.
Let's create some.
Is do we need an office?
This town needs a
Gibbs
business.
place.
Yeah.
We do, we need a workspace, right?
Yeah.
Shared
Shared
workspace.
workspace.
Shared
Yeah,
workspace.
and, you know,
We
that,
had
as I say, something we had looked at, and there's already been a number of places have come up and they've gone just as quickly.
Yeah.
There's pinning something down, so, but hopefully, it's like I say, the doors are open. Discussions.
Yeah, no, that's where it
There's
starts.
other parties that we already have discussions with, so anyone that wants to pitch into that, even in terms of farmers market, as indoor space. Have something that is just a general purpose space that all of the small business can be in, be it physically, be it
Yep.
virtually. You know, our vision is to have a professional services center where it's all of your professional services under one roof. Yeah. Yep. So,
Yeah, how big of a space? can we-
but then have you got one?
No, I'm just saying the new library center.
No, I don't think there's space like that.
There won't be space.
Yeah.
No, they've actually cut back a lot of their space.
It's a lot.
So it's going to be a lot smaller than what everybody thinks. Bug Farm, it'll be gone. Originally, there were other plans, but yeah, who knows? But I know the plans from what they've done already to stay in budget. They've taken a lot of space.
Will be interesting to you.
We'd love to
Into the building.
go for the ops.
There's only one way you can stay under budget, right? Or not go over your budget.
Again, and it's, Giorgio's not here anymore. We had a steering committee on this. So,
Well, it'd be good to see how well it's working in Collingwood, because there's a number of those kind of connection places and workspace available, and there's a lot of stuff, really good stuff happening. Once you have that kind of space, then there's so much vibrancy around courses and functions, and, you know, all kinds of creative stuff happening within those spaces.
I mean, sweet.
The business center.
That was.
David's gonna rent one and then.
Second, because kicking this around for a long time and our like vision is a shared workspace, like a hot desks and
Yeah.
offices with an added feature of like almost a hub environment in the front.
Nice.
So that's kind of your like business center. So you can go there, go to the bar, watch the food.
Singer as well, singer.
Well, you know, it's a little thing in the corner where, you know.
Maybe.
But it's more that, it's more of like, okay, it's 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Business center. hub.
Music, entertainment,
It's on it,
space, everything.
beer, and there's gonna be people there, but it's also a shared workspace in the back.
Right,
So,
See, in Collingwood, there's
if we ever found the right spot, I think it would be
yeah.
something that.
Something like the Foundry. So my daughter paid for space at the Foundry and she could do it on a monthly or a daily because our Wi-Fi was so intermittent up the escarpment. So, and it's sort of a hipster office. They have versions of it in Toronto, of course. And she was so pleasantly surprised. And they have like a Thursday night sort of social thing. The owner there, Brandon, had actually referred me for someone to assist me with my website and my business. And, you know, he didn't want anything for it. I took him some local beers and some other treats for folks there just to say thank you. And yeah, and then they get a discount at the coffee shop, at the pub, at the bookstore, so they have like a Foundry card if you've been someone who's contributed there. And it's all entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, and it's really pretty cool. And they have like soundproof booths if you're having a private Zoom call or, you know, that sort of thing. But I know you're looking for something more like the business center and.
Well,
I think
I'm
that's
looking for,
Same
like,
thing.
you know, again, to keep going to like hub kind of thing. So we're all like, you know, lots of this work, you know, you work at home all day and you need to get out. So-
Right.
So you go there at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock to have a coffee, have a beer, watch the sports or TV. And there's always somebody there that
Right.
is business related, so you're gonna run into somebody.
Well, that's why you see so many people with their laptops at coffee shops, because they want to work, but they like that opportunity to
Mhm.
connect with
No,
the
but if that's
community.
connected, if you took a Starbucks and connected
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
a WeWork.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's, no, I mean, I know two people and you know them that they say, meet me at my office. And we know they're talking about Starbucks.
Yeah.
Because they are there every day
Mhm.
and that's their office. They go in there at
Yeah.
9 AM and
Yeah.
they leave at 3.
I used to
And
feel
that's
sorry
it.
for.
I
the
used to
busy
have lots of
Starbucks.
meetings. there. I used to have them at Stacks. Cause I go to the Y and then go
Yeah.
to Stacks and then go back to the Y. And I think Sandra did that at the computer store, and I think she still may, where she has services available. It's not the same idea, so I don't think that's more of the office, but I think Sandra has where you can use computers, Wi-Fi, all that at the
Like an
computer
internet
store, like
cafe.
an internet cafe as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
But it just never, I don't think it ever got promoted as such. She tried, but
I
it
mean,
is available.
There's two groovy spaces in Collingwood. One is go get your bike fixed, and they also set up
Yes.
bike tours and it's coffee shop at the front. And then the one across the street is a retro record CD kind of funky place, and it's coffee tea as well. So
Yeah.
there's more and more of that, those sort of combinations. Yeah.
We got an 80s themes business center.
Well, I thought this retirement place was for sale like a year or two ago, just down.
Yeah.
I thought that was-
It's good. They're building a new retirement
Yeah.
place. You
Lots
see
of-
that in Blueland?
Rooms could have been office.
Retirement.
Huge space.
That's a great
Yeah, there's been
location.
a lot of opportunities, but yeah, funds. Yeah, and so just to round it off, apart from the physical space, obviously, we have our website, we have our Facebook page. What I would say is on the Facebook page, when I remember, I often post links to things like landlord and tenant board. If you ever have an afternoon and you're free, jump on there. Honestly, the entertainment value is way better than daytime.
See, for that.
But, and if you see me there, then. Okay, well, like I say, that it does, the doors are open. Feel free to give us a call, even if it's just as a sounding board or pass the time of day. Let's live the love to hear from anyone and everyone.
Going to these,
There has been, there's been proposals for a number of years to do that, and so there are trials now going on where paralegals can enter and do family law in very restricted conditions. Again, it's to make it more accessible and affordable for people. It's been one of the biggest challenges in family law is people being, basically, you have two parties, if one is better off than the other, they typically do better. Right, because they can afford proper representation. So yeah, it's coming, but it's right now it's not what we've been pushing for as paralegals. It's very restricted. But it's a sign of hopefully things to come, because we do feel that we can offer better services that are more affordable to people, more accessible to people. Than necessarily lawyers, and we can do things a lot quicker. And the forums that we work in, the landlord and tenant board, the highway traffic, you will see lawyers there, and you can typically spot them because they look very uncomfortable. Because we're there every day, we know how it works. They don't. They think of it as a court, and they try to apply their rules to and it's not the same.
Right.
So.
You do real estate,
We can't, unfortunately.
you can,
No, and that's actually, that's one of the markets that we had hoped to get into, but. The lawyers actually argue that there's not enough margin in it. For it to be given away to paralegals. Which seems like somewhat a cyclic argument, but yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, so no, it's-
Okay, so, people can continue to hang around and chat. Thanks, Mark, a very good presentation, and again, Ron, thanks very much for that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We're gonna end the recording in a moment, so just want to thank, both Matthew and Dawn, for joining us online. And I just wanted to, one, small, housekeeping thing that I just wanted to mention, with some of the original members that we had discussed that we were only going to allow, one, person per profession, but at the same time, we weren't going to turn people away for at least one visit because, you never know, maybe we would start up another chapter, or there might be a way to split up the pie. So for example, there was a mortgage broker who said they were going to attend and they haven't come yet, but I said to them, look, if you want to handle the prime lending, I'll do the non-prime, but it's up to the person who sort of was the original person in that category. So that's just something to keep in mind. Other than that, thanks for joining us again, Matthew and Don. Say hi to Norm, please, Don. And that's the end of today's meeting. Bye, guys online. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.